Hi poets, and welcome to class today. We've been really getting ready to dive into our poetry unit, and today we're going to talk about specific vocabulary words that are associated with poetry and poems. But before we do that, I want to talk specifically about one of the vocabulary words that you're really going to be focusing on today, and I want to have a little fun with that. So what you're going to need is your writer's notebook out, and then we're going to get started with having a little bit of fun with a silly poem. Go ahead and grab your writer's notebook now and pause this video, and when you come back with your writer's notebook, start this video up again so we can get started together. Alright guys, today we are going to talk about the word alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of a word. And what's cool about all of these vocabulary words, but specifically about alliteration, is that you've probably known these things and used these things over and over again in your writing. You're just maybe going to find that you didn't know the name specifically of some of these words that are parts of poetry. Alliteration is going to be one of them. Here's an example of alliteration here. Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Notice how the B, Betty Botter bought butter, but butter's bitter. All of those are repetitions of sound. We hear rappers do this in songs often. We hear specifically like Dr. Seuss, he uses repetition of that consonant sound over and over again. That is the use of alliteration. Here's another example. Charlotte shared her sugar with a shaggy sheep named Shane. Now look at what's cool about this. Notice how the definition of alliteration says the repetition of a consonant sound. It is not necessarily the same consonant over and over again, because you see here we have a ch for Charlotte and a sh for shared, but Charlotte and shared actually have the same sound even though they use different letters. English is weird and cool and awesome because not everything that has the same letter makes the same sound, and not everything that has the same sound has the same letter. So today we're going to take what we just talked about with alliteration, the repeating of a consonant sound at the beginning of the words, and you are going to write a never poem. To write your never poem, you will write one sentence of each of the following, repeating your chosen consonant sound as many times as possible. So you are going to write about something that you would never eat, you would never wear, you would never want to buy, you would never do, a place you would never want to go, and something that you would always like to think about. And you're going to end the poem with a, and I promise I will never. Let me show you an example. Following the directions of my never poem that I gave you guys, here's what I came up with. The consonant sound that I wanted to use throughout my poem was B. And in this case, I made it with the letter B. So here's what I did. Eating brains, wearing bonnets, and buying a boat. Bet I'll never be with these, or at least I hope. Bickering and bluffing are not my cup of tea, but barbecues and bouquets, beaches and books, I promise I will never say bye-bye to these. Now notice how I took these directions here, and I used those to create my poem above. So my first line was about something that I would never eat. My second line was something that I would never wear, a bonnet. My third line was something that I would never buy. And then I kind of gave a bonus fourth line. And then I went down to the something I would never do, bickering and bluffing. And then something I always think about is really about summertime, barbecues, bouquets of flowers, beaches, books. And then I ended the line with an I promise I will never. This is what I want you guys to do today. And when you're done with this, you're going to copy your never poem, and you are going to go to our discussion board right here, and you're going to post it in today's work. Today's discussion board post is called My Never Poem. And that's what we're going to do for our warm-up today. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Have fun writing your nevers. I can't wait to read them.